Hello Gemini, welcome back to my channel Spirit and I Incorporated. I have been offline here for a little bit. I took some time these last several months to reconnect with my spirituality and also to hone my skills with my education in astrology so that I could better, provide a clearer and hopefully more concise forecasts for my viewers. And so it required me to take a conscientious step and take a step back so that I could, self-educate and as I mentioned, reconnect with my creator and just take some necessary personal time to realign with myself and to then therefore better realign with the desires of that which I wish to forecast here for the zodiacs on my channel. And so this being said, I have returned. I'm recording this forecast for Gemini on the 9th of August 2023. This is for the first half of August for 2023 for your sign Gemini. I do hope that you're all doing well. I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for those of you that are returning. Thank you for new viewers that are tuning in. I do hope that the forecasts that I provide, which I provide through an intuitive fashion and a spiritual fashion, that they resonate for many of you and that they are utilized as a positive and uplifting guide insofar as the energies are concerned of the current transits as you move forward in your free will in the arenas of your life that you wish to manifest. So without further ado, Gemini, thank you again for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be here with you. So let's start this forecast. This is for the sign of Gemini for the month of August 2023, for the first half in particular. And the energies that I will be forecasting on, which are still playing out here for the next 2 weeks, commenced with the full moon that we just had in Aquarius on the 1st of August a few days ago. It was full at 2:31 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, so please adjust your clocks to the areas of the world where you reside. And for you, Gemini, that full moon landed in your 9th house, I believe. Yeah, it fell in your 9th house at 9 degrees. And it's opposing your sun in your 3rd house of communications at 9 degrees. Whenever we have a full moon, it typically opposes the sun. So that's for all zodiacs. So don't take that personally. But it is a bit of quieter full moon. However, it did land for you, Gemini, and is still, it has since moved in the last couple of days, but the energy is still playing out, landing in your 9th house. And the 9th house has to do with travel for some of you, or perhaps for someone you know. It's connected with foreign affairs, higher spiritual learning, higher education, teaching, philosophy. It also has to do with religion, doctrinated religion. It is the house, the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and Jupiter is Sagittarius's ruling planet. And you have, the full moon landing in this particular area as of the 1st of August. And as I mentioned, the energies are still playing out. So I would suspect that perhaps some of you, Gemini, have been engaged in these activities of this particular arena where these energies have been playing out. You do have a supportive sextile, which is what we do call a supported energy from Neptune here in your 10th house. And the 10th house has to do with our careers, our reputation, social status, profession, even parents, life direction, and the likes. You have a supportive sextile from Neptune connecting with Pluto, which is straddling your 9th and your 8th house, where Pluto is still remaining, which is in Capricorn. It's been there since 2008. and it will remain there, I believe, till January of next year. But it is straddling that 9th house where you have your full moon, or where you had your full moon, Gemini. So whatever avenues of pursuit you have been engaged in here within the 9th house that I just mentioned, which again has to do with higher learning, philosophy, education, teaching, publishing, marketing, long distance travel, foreign affairs. You have beautiful support here from Neptune. Neptune is the planet of higher spirituality when it's used in its higher octave, and it has a lovely sextile supporting aspect with Pluto, going deep within yourself, Gemini, really looking at your life, throughout the years, digging up deep from your soul, what isn't serving you. And that full moon is quite emotional, although on a quieter level, but it's still connecting with the energies of that Pluto, which is straddling your 9th and your 8th house. And so perhaps for some of you Geminis, you've been able to go deep within yourself and realign, release what you have learned through the years, particularly since 2008, because you have that beautiful support from Neptune. Neptune in its lower octave can create confusion. Perhaps some of you have had some confusion. It can create delusion, fogginess. But if you tap into it from a higher octave, meaning your spiritual self through prayer and meditation, you can obtain that clarity that Neptune provides. And it's helping you to dig deep within your soul, to release that which is no longer aligned with you, or that you have learned from and you are now able to release it, and to let that full moon in this area of your 9th house expand that, to release that, whatever that means to you with respect to 9th house energies. Now moving forward, we also have Jupiter in your 12th house, and the 12th house has to do with the subconscious. And Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius, it's considered the most benefic and highly spiritual planet of our solar system when it's used in its higher octave. Jupiter also in the 3D realm is known to inflate everything it touches, so good, bad, or indifferent. So the message here is to keep it positive. Now there is a challenging square from Jupiter in your 11th house, in your 12th house, connecting with that full moon in the 9th house. Now the 9th house also has to do with legal contracts, so perhaps there have been some of you that have been going through some legalities. It's been perhaps a bit of a challenging time, but if you lean into your higher understanding, and your higher education, through prayer and meditation, or whatever that means, you can understand these areas of these particular affairs better and have a healing, because you do have that support from Neptune. And that support system from Neptune at 27 degrees is a lot more powerful than the square from Jupiter. But because Jupiter can expand everything it touches, that's why it's really important to lean into your Neptune energies and lean into your meditative forms of prayer, divination, that which is healing and uplifting to you. Lean into that to understand the 9th house energies, which also has to do with law. So that you can, better release what you're feeling challenged by with that Jupiter square in the 9th house from your 12th house. And the 12th house, as I mentioned, has to do with the subconscious mind. It has to do with, secrets and sanctuaries, and, it even has to do with large animals. So that's something to bear in mind as well. The 9th house ruled by Sagittarius, their animal, the Sagittarian animal totem is the horse, considered a very large animal, but also a very regal and a very spiritual animal. So again, the message is to lean into the Neptune energies from your 10th house, which is associated with your career, that which you wish to change. Perhaps there's been a desire for you to make some changes within your career. It's been providing a bit of a challenge for you. You know, the moon has been creating some confusion, but if you go into your higher self through, you know, forms of divinity, whether that's yoga, meditation, and or prayer, as I mentioned, clarity will come to you, Gemini. That's an important message that I felt needed to be expressed. Now, moving forward, we also have Uranus in your 12th house. And, you know, Uranus is that wild card. Uranus is the planet that rules the universe. It's considered, you know, a disruptive energy, but it can also be considered a beautiful energy of unexpected surprises. It comes out of nowhere. Uranus is a life-changing energy. So whatever Uranus, you know, whenever Uranus is transiting, you know, wherever it is in your natal chart, which of course, you know, I don't know because I don't have everyone's time, date, and place of birth. So these are just general forecasts. They may resonate for some of you Geminis, they may not, but the energy, generically speaking, is the same. There is a hard 90-degree angle from Uranus in your 12th house of the subconscious. And, you know, feeling like, you know, perhaps you're self-sabotaging yourself. That's another energy that can play out in the 12th house. Uranus has that hard 90-degree angle connected to Venus in your 3rd house of communications. And Venus is associated with love and money. It's also the ruler of Taurus and Libra, for that matter. So the message here to stay out of anything that could be potentially volatile in the arenas of concern between the 12th house Gemini and your 3rd house of communications is to be mindful of your words and, more importantly, the energy behind your words. Because in not doing so, you know, the planet of the universe, Uranus, can really bring an unexpected welcome, and it can be extremely disruptive, and it could be extremely volatile. So you really want to come from a place of peace. Attach with your Jupiterian energy also in the 12th house here, which used in its higher octave, Jupiter in the 12th house is considered, you know, highly spiritual. Tap into that energy because it's connecting with your with your 4th house, which is your foundation, Gemini, your home, your family, those whom you consider family, security, comfort, real estate, you know, domestic affairs, even parental issues. Lean into this beautiful trine that you have at 13 degrees Jupiter to 13 degrees Mars, which is the planet of faith-driven action when it's used in its higher octave. You know, you want to lean into that beautiful energy and stay in the positive energy of Mars, because in its lower energy it can create war, as we are currently seeing, you know, in several parts of the world, unfortunately. So you want to stay in your positive Jupiterian spiritual energy with this beautiful trine. It's a triangle between your 12th house of the subconscious and, you know, self-sabotage. Don't you know, stay in a place of peace, protecting your peace as you connect with the faith-driven action of Mars. Used in its higher octave, you can make positive progression towards any changes that perhaps you even want to make in the home, and or to do with your security, which may very well have to do, you know, with these 10th house energies that I mentioned, where you have that beautiful harmonious sextile, that supportive sextile between Neptune and Pluto. So you're going deep within yourself, Gemini. You're wanting to make some changes perhaps in your professional and foundational arenas, and to do so in a positive aspect, you want to, if I may suggest, come from an energy of peace, and going into prayer and meditation, any form of divination which you find uplifting for yourself, Gemini, is important to tap into, to stay in a frame of mind and in your communications in a manner of being positive and peaceful. You know, you want to stay away, if you possibly can, out of this volatile energy. Be mindful of your words, and especially how you express them. Because, you know, you have a lot of, you know, Gemini rules the mind. You do a lot of analyzing up in your head. And, you know, you have some positive aspects here with this trine from Jupiter to Mars, from your 12th to your 4th house, which has to do with your security and your foundations and your home. And, you know, your even with parents, you have beautiful support here. So stay in that energy and do your very best with any changes you're looking to make in your professional or personal arena to engage in a positive fashion with your communication specifically, because otherwise that hard 90-degree angle where you have squares, you know, a square from Uranus happening and connecting with Venus, the planet of love and money, you know, which is associated with your professional and personal arena, it can become very volatile. So do your very best, if I may suggest, Gemini, to you know, navigate away from that energy and stay in your positive Jupiterian, higher spiritual energy, which you can connect with through prayer and or meditation. You know, speak with God before you speak with anybody else is one way that I like to put this. Speak with your higher form of divination before you speak with anybody else. And that will help keep your energy smooth, balanced, and you know, healing, first and foremost for yourself, and then of course towards others, and that therefore can provide a win-win for anyone involved or anything that these energies may be associated with, as I mentioned, between your 12th and your 4th house, along with your 3rd house of communication, where we have Venus retrograde at present. And Venus, you know, retrograde, the planet of love and money, can bring back people from the past. It can bring, you know, financial concerns back from the past. It also has the opportunity to be inflated again if you come from a place of positivity and utilizing your energies wisely. You know, being very discerning on how you speak and the energy behind your words. As we've always, you know, heard, it's not what we say, it's how we say it. So be mindful of that. And that's what I'm picking up here predominantly for the astrology portion of this forecast. I don't believe that I can expand on this any further. Let's take a look now at the Animal Spirit Oracle deck to look at some of the energies through the oracles, and we'll get some clarification through the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And then we'll close out the forecast. And again, this is for Gemini for the month of August 2023. I'd like to thank you again, all of you Geminians that are tuning in, of old, new, and present. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really thrilled to be back. It's been quite a journey through, you know, my self-education, connecting with my Creator, has been very necessary to do so for my own healing, as well as for my own growth and understanding, not only within myself but also within my professional arena to do with my astrology. I wanted to hone my skills, and I'm hopeful that in so doing, as you know, understanding astrology is never ending. There's like a million different layers to it. But I do hope that the forecasts that I am providing are clear and concise and of help to many of you, if not most of you. And it's a real pleasure to be here with you, and very thankful that I'm able to deliver these messages to you. So if you would, I would highly appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It does help the videos to circulate so that they can better reach other viewers that may be in need of listening to the spiritual messages that I have to provide, and how those energies reflect into our 3D arenas here on this planet that we walk. So I appreciate all of you who engage in liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. It does help it to grow, and as I mentioned, to allow the videos to circulate. So without further ado, Gemini, let's take a look at your recent past energies, current and forthcoming, and we'll get some clarification with the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And again, this is for Gemini for the first half of August 2023. Let's see what we have for Gemini, first half of August 2023. First card out, Gemini, in your most recent energies, we have the Armadillo Spirit. What a beautiful card, the Armadillo Spirit. The numerical spiritual number of 3, which is known in the science of spiritual numerology as a spiritual counsel and or guide. And in your most recent past energies, you've been setting some healthy boundaries, Gemini. For those Geminis that are resonating with this energy, it's been necessary to do so, and in doing so, it's been providing you with the opportunity to go through some, very positive and healthy energy changes for yourself, because you're setting boundaries, not only for yourself, but towards others, and really honoring your spiritual development through whichever form of divination you utilize to do that. As long as it's healing and uplifting, it's all good. Moving into your current energies, Gemini, we have, these cards are so thick, I beg your pardon. There we go. Current energies that came up, we have the Coyote Spirit, where you're trusting in divine detours. The numerical number of 16, which reduces to a 7, and 7 in the science of spiritual numerology is considered the number of divinity. So perhaps, and hopefully many of you Geminis are connecting with your source of divination, as I mentioned, and you're trusting in the detours that divination has allowed. Rejection is protection. And when you start your day, every day, with your Creator, God, your, whatever label you wish to put on that, but when you connect with your source, your higher source, that which uplifts and heals you and helps you navigate throughout your days, when you connect with that first thing every day, your day will go by a lot smoother. And any challenges that may come throughout the day, you will be able to navigate in a smoother fashion as well, where you will maintain your power and not give it away. So this is a very, very positive, energetic, divinely driven energy for you, Gemini. And I encourage you to continue to tap into it for those of you that have. And for those of you that are learning to do so, you will notice how beautifully you will be supported by doing so. That is the suggestion of this energy. Certainly what you do is up to you, as we are all, free agents with free will. But the suggestion here is to tap into a higher understanding and a higher force that can guide you, as long as it's, a form of divination that's healthy and uplifting, and it will do so. Moving into your forthcoming energies, we have beautiful, the Butterfly Spirit, Gemini. How beautiful is that? As I just mentioned, when you stay in your higher self and you set some healthy boundaries for yourself to be able to maintain your sense of spiritual energy within yourself. Again, through whichever form of healthy divination you obtain that, you transform, and then you fly free like the butterfly. And all of these beautiful energies indicative of these baby butterflies fly ahead of you to make any crooked path straight. That's what it says in Scripture as well. God says, "Do not fear, for I will go before you and make every crooked path straight." So you have the energy and the support of the divine, God, your higher ancestors, those that have crossed over before you, walking with you and guiding you. You have all that divine support to pursue the changes you're wishing to pursue with respect to, those 9th house activities where that full moon has fallen. Again, whether that has to do with long distance travel, foreign affairs, publishing, marketing, those of you in the publishing and marketing and media field, as well as in the fine arts, even the performing arts, which is very much associated with publishing and marketing. any business associated with that. Higher education, higher spiritual awareness, higher spiritual education, even teaching for some of you. Beautiful transformation unfolding for you for the first half of August. Really loving these energies. We also, if I may note, you have the master number 11 here, guiding you forward. The master numbers are not reduced, but they do fly with you and continue to govern you from within when you connect with your intuition. That's that inner voice. That's that knowing. That's the whisper within of how you are guided, and you're being totally upheld by the divine here. And you're transforming beautiful from the cocoon to the beautiful, beautiful butterfly, the masterpiece that God created you to be, Gemini. You're attaching to these energies, and it's just magnificent and highly spiritual for some of you Geminians that are allowing that energy to flow through you and all around you. And it's helping you to elevate. You're really, really elevating your understanding and your awareness. And that can only serve you to the utmost of excellence and how that can be utilized in your 3D realm of this world, personally and professionally. Beautiful energies, Gemini. Now, going to get some clarification, excuse me, with the Rider-Waite Tarot. I beg your pardon, I'll be doing a lot of talking, so I'm a little bit hoarse. I have to take a sip of my coffee. Let's get some clarification for Gemini, for the most recent past energies of setting healthy boundaries within yourself and around you for yourself, Gemini, and having the support of your spiritual counsel to do so. Very healing energies you have here. A lot of transformation, a lot of change, a lot of growth for many of you. I do hope that this resonates for many of you, because this is really powerful and, highly spiritually supported. And anything that is spiritually supported is everlasting. So bear that in mind, Gemini. That's a little key note to take out of this thus far. All right, so let's clarify your most recent past energies of the Armadillo Spirit. Cutting the deck. All right, Gemini, first card out. Holy smokes, we have the Sun. How beautiful is this? There is the confirmation. The Sun is the life force. It allows everything to germinate, from the seeds that you have planted to the seeds that have been planted before you by your ancestors and or others that have been in your world to help you to grow. And they are given the life force from the Sun, which is God, and they have come into full bloom and blossoming, which is a total confirmation of the Sun behind this Armadillo Spirit, where you are being supported spiritually. You've understood to set healthy boundaries for yourself and within yourself for things that, perhaps in that 12th house where you've self-sabotaged yourself, you're now setting boundaries with that type of energy. And in so doing, in your current energies, you're completely birthing a new you, that is totally supported by God, which is the life force. That's the Sun. Beautiful energies, Gemini. Holy smokes. Fantastic. Clarifying the Sun. We have, this came up in the reverse. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. This is what it looks like in the upright. And the Six of Pentacles, now it did come up in the reverse, and this would suggest to me that Pentacles are indicative of earth energies, Pentacles particularly with resources, with finances. Perhaps some of you have been really going within yourself spiritually, asking, God, the life force, to direct you to how to make a change that would better serve your resources here in the 3D realm. There could have been some challenges in the recent past, whether that's a month ago, a day ago, or 6 years ago with your finances. 6 of Pentacles is typically associated with the past employment, changes you made in the past that were necessary because you weren't being, perhaps in the 3D arena, compensated appropriately, and as far as your finances are concerned. And another way that this could be playing out is that because you've connected with, you know, your divine sense of purpose, knowing that you deserve better than what you've had in the past, you're releasing this. That's another way that this energy could be showing up, is that energies that have been unhealthy in the past, that even affected your resources. Perhaps you were in a form of employment that just didn't serve you, was really unhealthy, it never aligned with you, and it didn't pay you well. You're letting it go, which is what this energy would be indicative of in the reverse as well. So it's a positive energy either way you look at it. Whether you are in the throes of releasing this or you already have, it's because you've connected with your divine self and understanding that you are worthy of much more than what you've had. But in order to obtain that, you had to set healthy boundaries, not only within yourself and within your own thought process, and understanding that, you know, thoughts are things, and the energy behind your words and how that perhaps has self-sabotaged you in the past. That's that 12th house energy we spoke of earlier in the astrology. It's allowed you to release the past, which includes releasing, you know, the avenues of finances that never supported you to begin with because you weren't perhaps compensated appropriately. And so you decided to let it go. So this is actually, I see this positive either way. Whether you're in the throes of leaving this behind, or you're in the throes of looking at this and saying, you know what, I deserve better. I'm going to connect with my higher self. I'm going to really go within myself in prayer and meditation, or whatever form of divinity that helps you, Gemini, to set, you know, boundaries of understanding your worth and realizing that in order to elevate to what you feel that your worth is to release any self-sabotaging ways that perhaps you may have inflicted upon yourself and or towards others, or, you know, setting boundaries so that that type of an infliction can no longer penetrate your energies. And in so doing, you have a new, abundantly blessed new beginning where you are able to release the negative energies and move forward into your current energies, which we have here of trusting the divine detours, trusting that whatever you had to set healthy boundaries on with respect to yourself and the energy within yourself and how you use it and or don't use it, that, you know, detours came because of it. And you're feeling either still the sting of that, or you're actually saying, thank you. I trust the divine detours that have unfolded in my life. I'm looking to the divine. 6 and 1 is 7 numerically. 7 is the spiritual science numerology number of the divinity. Connecting with the divine resource, through prayer, meditation, yoga, whatever form of divination you connect with, Gemini, and you're walking away from this. It's a blessing, actually, to walk away from this because it didn't support you anyway. And as you have been doing that, for those of you that are in the throes of this type of energy and or coming into it, we have the moon in the upright, and that's that full moon in your 9th house. This is the full moon in your 9th house that we just spoke of in the astrology. And the moon, in its higher octave can actually be very illuminating. And the illumination will come through connecting with your divine intelligence, your spiritual self, looking deep within yourself, listening to what your intuition is telling you. Really, really important to listen, not only to ask, but then to stay quiet enough to actually hear what that inner voice is telling you, because that inner voice, that gut feeling, is your God self, is your spiritual self, speaking to you. So it's not only important that we communicate with our higher selves, our spiritual selves, God, or again, whichever form of divination you choose, as long as it's healthy and uplifting. You can look through any illusion that the moon may still be shedding, because the moon, especially when it's full, it can be very elusive, but it can also illuminate when you connect with it spiritually, which is, I think, how many of you Geminians are connecting, or it is my hope that you are. That is the suggested energy here, is that you allow the light of the moon to illuminate the divinity within, to be able to navigate and trust that the divine detours that have manifested in your world, whether you initiated them or not, are healthier, even if it means taking a step back and finding something new, that newness within yourself, and how that will then, positively in an energetic fashion, transcend to those that you connect with in the 3D arena, in your professional life as well as in your personal life. You have heavy energies in the 9th house and in the 4th house. 4th house has to do with family, foundation, home, security. 9th house has to do with higher learning, spiritual understanding, higher education, philosophy, publishing, marketing, long distance travel, foreign affairs, the law, justice. You have the ability to connect with the just source of your divinity, to illuminate any areas of clarification that you've required to be able to release them and move forward. That is the suggested energy here, Gemini. Now, clarifying the moon. Here we go. We have justice in the upright. This is beautiful, Gemini. This is very positive. Justice is just as it says. Where you feel there has been an injustice in your affairs, you are now seeing that turn around for you. And it's probably due to the fact that you chose to come from a place of peace. Peace provides balance. Divinity, connecting with prayer and God and or meditating, provides balance and justice within our energy force, within our energy, our chakra energies, and it allows balance, into our 3D arena. And so in your current energies, you trusted, hopefully many of you trusted in the divine detours that the Coyote Spirit suggested, connecting with your divinity to know that all is as it should be, and that the universe is watching over you, even if there have been, concerns with that full moon and there hasn't been a lot of clarity. You're allowing the divine to shed light, and in so doing, justice is restored in your world, and you are able to move forward. You're able to move forward in that which you desire. Again, 9th house energies. Justice, rules the 9th house as well. Sagittarian house. You may have some Sagittarian placements. They hold the truth. They speak the truth. Oftentimes they're too honest. And, either that has been required from within yourself toward yourself, really looking at being honest with yourself. And in so doing, justice is restored within yourself, and you're able to look through any illusion that the moon may be illuminating for you, because you're connecting with your divine source. And you're able to establish that in a healthy way in your professional arena here in the 3D world. 9th house has to do, again, as I also said, with publishing, marketing. Perhaps some of you are getting a new position in association with publishing and marketing. Something to consider. Either way, it's coming through a higher understanding, because you've connected with God, or whatever term you wish to label your higher source of divinity. And in so doing, you've transformed like the butterfly. You have transformed out of that cocoon, Gemini, and are flying free as this beautiful butterfly in its glorious colors and freedom is depicting. These are in your forthcoming energies. Here's your justice. It's like you've become a new being, a new individual, a new energy. And why? Because you connected with your divinity. You did the work, and you allowed the divine to settle your accounts. You didn't take matters into your own hands. You were able to, understand that by making changes within yourself, that was the just thing for yourself. And in so doing, allow the transformation, not only within the depths of your soul and in your mind and in your spirit, but also how that beautiful energy is now trickling into your 3D world, this world, and how that energy connects with a new beginning, perhaps new employment for some of you, perhaps a change of employment. Perhaps it has to do with the travel industry. The 9th house has to do with the airline industry. For those of you that have Sagittarian placements in your chart, that may be of interest. Either way, it is supported. Understanding your higher spirituality, connecting through your forms of divinity, educating yourself, looking into spiritual philosophy. That's another arena that the 9th house holds. The 9th house is governed by Sagittarius, and Jupiter, where Jupiter is sitting in that area right now, is totally supporting this transformation. It's beautiful, Gemini. Clarifying the butterfly spirit of transformation being beautiful. Wonderful. Here we have the three of Pentacles. In the 3D arena, this would be considered working with others, perhaps in a new arena altogether, but it is supported, and it's positive, and it's in the upright. Clarifying the 3 of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Wands. The wands are indicative of, they hold the energy of fire. They're considered the fire elements, and the fire elements are Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And we do have a new moon coming up in Leo on the 16th of August. It could possibly be that some of you are walking toward a new endeavor around that time of that new moon in Leo, or within 2 weeks of it, perhaps towards the end of August, first part of September. But this is either a message coming to you from that type of energy, or you're moving toward that new endeavor already, or preparing to do so. But it is positive. It is positive, faith-driven action, which is, Mars in its higher octave, and we have Mars sitting in your, I believe it was your third house of communication. So in your 4th house of family. So it could be that, you're taking some positive action with your security, and that could have to do with, perhaps some of you will be working, if you're not already working remotely, you could be, employed remotely from your home, and feeling very secure in doing so. Either way, this is a positive energy. Beautiful energies, Gemini. It really looks like whatever changes you are embracing, not only within your by releasing the past that hasn't served you, including financially, staying focused on the new seeds that you planted in the recent past that are being germinated and growing abundantly so with the life force of the sun, which is God. It's because you set some healthy boundaries for yourself, even within yourself, toward yourself. And in so doing, you've been able to trust in the divine detours. You may not have always understood them, but you're trusting in them. For those of you that have, felt that it's been, elusive in some arenas, and or at some times, where the path hasn't seemed straight, as you can see, it's kind of crooked here. Ask God or, your ancestors to walk before you, to utilize the illumination of the moon to shed light on that continued divinity within yourself, where you were able to let go of the past, including the fact that you weren't compensated appropriately, and in so doing, you're receiving the justice that you've been desiring for your own affairs. 9th house energies, very positive. And as a result, you have this beautiful transformation, new beginnings, a new birth, new growth, new employment, change of employment, expansion of perhaps an employment arena that some of you are engaged in at this time. Either way, it's a transformation, but it started from within yourself. And it is trickled all the way into your forthcoming energies. Here you are, working, with the Trinity. This is the Trinity within the self and also in the 3D arena, working with others, building something brand new, a new position for some of you. And you will be receiving word of that very soon, not only from perhaps someone else. You could be walking toward that. You're taking faith-driven action. You're walking peacefully towards your new beginning, where you're going to create something brand new. It's supported by the spiritual number of 3, which is God. And as a result, you have this beautiful new beginning of whatever that means for you. A new job, a new career prospect, new home for some of you. Mars is sitting in your 4th house, which has to do with the foundations, your home. Transforming the energies within the home is another way that this energy could play out. Either way, it's positive, and you're really obtaining that because you've done the work within. You've set some healthy boundaries for yourself, Gemini, in your most recent past. Where you're not sabotaging yourself any longer. For those of you that have done so. Not all of you, but some of you may have. It's very natural. We all do that. I've done that. We all do that. But when we learn from it, we transform. And we have beautiful, healthy outcomes that not only affect our personal lives, but our professional lives. And you're being totally supported here, Gemini. So these are beautiful energies. This again is for Gemini for the first half of August 2023. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. I will be back mid-month to provide the forecast updated for the energies with the new moon happening in Leo on the 16th of August. Until then, Gemini, take extra special care. Stay connected with this beautiful transformation that you're coming into and or moving through at this very time. Stay focused on your new beginning. Continue to keep healthy boundaries for yourself, within yourself, even with your own narrative toward yourself. And enjoy the blessings of God, because you are being totally supported. Totally supported in your new beginning of whatever that means to you. In your personal life, with your foundations, as well as your professional arena. Congratulations, Gemini. I'll see you soon. Until then, which will be mid-month, Spirit and I signing off for now. Bye-bye for now.